In 2021, Sir Arsen Wenger, who now works as FIFA's Chief of Global Football Development, proposed a radical plan to host the World Cup every 2 years on even years instead of the usual 4 years, which would break an over 100-year tradition, and many fans were in uproar. Many football federations were against it. They said it would devalue the World Cup, make it less prestige, overdo it, players would be tired. But here's why I think it's actually a decent idea to have the World Cup every 2 years. Arsen Wenger knows football, and I don't believe he's in the greedy pockets of FIFA to do their dirty stuff. He seems 100% convinced that having a World Cup every 2 years is the best way forward for the game as a whole. He said the plan would be to host World Cup in every even years, and the Confederation Cups like the Euros will be held in the odd years. The positive stuff that Arsen spoke about are about giving younger players from poorer nations a bigger chance to play in the biggest tournament. The World Cup every 2 years would generate more money that would be invested globally and create new youth programs in the poorer nations. Of course, with any change, there's going to be an uproar. We all hate change. We all hate breaking tradition, especially in football. Tradition in football is very sacred, and we feel that it shouldn't be tampered with. Let's look at the first argument, that the World Cup every 2 years would dilute the prestigiousness and devalue it. Will it lose its mystique? Because when it comes around every 4 years, it definitely has this aura of you're not going to see it for another while, so enjoy it while you can. My counter to that is, while every 4 years does add a prestigiousness to it, I feel like 4 years is just too long to wait for another World Cup. The 2018 World Cup has great memories for me, but even that feels like a lifetime ago. So much has happened. So while I argue that 4 years does add prestigiousness to it, I also think 4 years is somehow a bit too far apart to wait for another World Cup. Another argument is that World Cup every 2 years will be literally non-stop football for professional footballers. You finish a league and then summer it's another World Cup. They would never have a holiday, they never get a break, it'll be overburn. But I don't believe the case, because players, yes, they want to finish their league and they want to go off in the holidays in the Bahamas, in the Maldives, on their yachts. They want to chill for the summer and come back for the league. But footballers can have their 3-week holiday, have their 2 weeks holidays, regardless of if they play in international tournaments. I don't believe burnout will be an issue as long as clubs learn how to rotate players, clubs know how to manage the workload. And another thing to talk about is real footballers that love the game wouldn't complain about burnout or needing holidays. Real players that want to make their name in history, the legends of the game, don't care about the holidays in Bahamas. They want to be in the biggest tournaments, making a name for themselves. If you ask Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, do you want to go on a holiday after you finish the league, or do you want to play in a World Cup and try win the tournament for your country? Of course they're going to pick the World Cup 100 out of 100 times. See, the real elite players love the game and would play it non-stop because they know a career is short and you only have a short time to make a name for yourself. After looking at the positives of having a World Cup every 2 years, well, let's discuss that. Let's say FIFA did put in place the biennial World Cup every 2 years. Yes, the fans are going to hate it, but we'll complain about it till the cows come home. But when the World Cup is actually happening, when it's on TV, when there's matches going on in stadiums, we're going to tune in to watch it and support our nations and support our players. For example, when Qatar was given the 2022 World Cup, we hated it. We was like, this is corrupt, this is a sham. How can Qatar get the World Cup? They don't even have a footballing nation. But as the World Cup in Qatar is approaching next year, we're all excited. We're all going to tune in because no matter what, we're going to support our country and we're going to support football. But more World Cups mean more stars will be created, more statistical records will be broken, more time to have fun, more time to enjoy our players, create memories, and look at the archives when it's all said and done. The arguments I'm putting forward might not be granite solid and may have some holes in it, and I may be contradicting myself, but I think World Cup every 2 years is not as bad as we all think it is. At the beginning, it'll be weird to get used to, but as fans, World Cup is a joyous time for the nation. England or any other country are so united when a World Cup is going on, or any international tournament. Families get together to watch tournaments. It's the only time moms, dads, grandparents, uncles, aunties, cousins who don't give a toss about football will sit down and watch all 90 minutes of the match. And it's a beautiful occasion, there's no denying that. International tournaments are on free-to-air TV. It's not on Sky Sports or paid subscriptions. It's on BBC, ITV, and that allows more people to watch football, more fans to care about football, to tune in for football matches that no one really cares about, even if our teams are not playing. If it's Denmark versus Finland, everyone will tune in. But I am no way disillusioned by the statements by FIFA and Arsen Wenger that this is all to benefit poor nations, to develop poor nations, to give more opportunities to young players. While that may be a byproduct, we all know FIFA are doing this for money. No one's mistaken about that. We know FIFA want more money, the sponsors want more money, the TV channels want more money, the directors, investors, all the nations that control FIFA, have FIFA in their pockets, want more money, and that's what a more World Cup will do. We all know that. It's a money scheme, but the fans get to enjoy more football. In December 2021, FIFA President Infantino stated that a biennial World Cup could generate around 3.3 billion euros per tournament, and he said it's to give to less developed countries. So these are the type of statements they will push out to the fans, that we were doing it for poorer nations, but we all know it's to create more money for themselves. If or when the biennial World Cup is put in place, I'm sure you're going to hear different countries that don't even care about football will host the tournament. I'm sure Saudi Arabia will definitely get one, China will definitely have one, heck, even maybe North Korea might get one, Antarctica. Who knows what FIFA will do, but they'll do anything for money, and the corruptness in FIFA knows no bounds, and tournaments will be hosted in so many different countries. But saying that, there will also be countries that love football will get a World Cup. England is more likely to get another World Cup very soon. Germany, Italy might have one. Spain, they haven't hosted in a long time. Loads of countries. Africa, more countries in Africa might get one. And those will be exciting times, especially for the people that live in those countries, to have a World Cup. But we can't really control the corruptness of FIFA. That's just going to happen. All we can do is just enjoy the football and make sure football isn't ruined. And I know people will think the biennial World Cup will ruin football, but it really wouldn't. It's just another tournament added on, and because it's the World Cup, players will want to win it, because once you win a World Cup, you are immortal. But it does appear FIFA are going to try their best to push this through, and I'm trying to see the positive light of it instead of trying to be against it. Don't believe this will affect our domestic leagues any way possible. We'll have more football, to enjoy. Our parents will watch it together. Our grandparents, they don't care about football, but they care about the World Cup, and it's just a joyous occasion. Think about all the international tournaments when England is united. Having a World Cup, the biggest football tournament in the world, possibly the biggest event in the world, more often is not a bad idea. It's something that we can get used to. Even if they do introduce it, I think they're going to introduce it from 2026, so it would give us time to get adjusted to it, and I think it would be a good idea. Even if the biennial World Cup gets rejected, I'm happy with having a World Cup every 3 years. Maybe they can meet in the middle instead of 2 or 4, 3 years. How about that? World Cup every 3 years? Sounds a bit crazy, but what I'm trying to argue for is that 4 years is a very long time to wait for another World Cup. I love the World Cup. As a football fan, we love the World Cup. It's the greatest memories it creates for us as a fan. Even if it's every 3 years, again, we're meeting in the middle. 2 years might be too often, 3 years might be perfect, because 4 years just seems too far apart to wait for another World Cup. Yes, we got the Euros. I'm not sure how they're going to coordinate that, but I've always thought 4 years to wait for another World Cup just seems a bit long. And I'm glad FIFA is on the radar that they do want more World Cups, and Arsen Wenger has proposed this biennial World Cup. Whether it happens or not, I think we can get behind it and enjoy the football.